Yes, I get the whole shot of Larry. Larry the cat. So this is Larry's story for the LGBT St. Louis History Pride Project. So, Larry, this is your story.
My story, well.
Tell us about coming out. Tell us about your childhood. When did you realize or recognize that you were gay? Or that you were different?
I was different. I had to be about 4.
Okay.
I was before kindergarten, and I ran up to my uncle and grabbed him in his private. And my mother chased me out of the room. My mother chased me out of the room. I mean, out of the bed, trying to whoop me. That's all I remember about that particular incident. But later on, I was, I guess, 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade. Guy in the neighborhood kind of hit me, turned me on, hit on me. Yeah, so we messed around a little bit in garages and, you know, in the alley and stuff like that. But nothing major. But so after that, then we going to grade school. And I think I really came out around the 7th grade, where I had a study boyfriend, and still in the neighborhood.
Wow. That's interesting. So now, doing that, did your family notice that something was...
They never discussed it. They never said anything, if they did.
Okay.
And I was just being me, just being Larry. You know, I like boys. I knew I liked boys. I like girls at the time too, you know. But I was having sex with boys. 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, I was having older guys picking me up from high school and going out to the clubs or wherever we would do that day. And so I consider myself grown at that time. In high school.
So now, when you came out, how did that come about? I mean, actually, I would say...
Well, one of the guys that was picking me up from high school picked me up at night, and we went to the Onyx room. Okay. And he turned me on to the Onyx room. And that became a whole new world for me.
In what way?
And I started meeting friends, people I would, you know, like to hang out with. And so, yeah, the Onyx room was my coming out. And I met my first guy that I fell in love with there also.
So now, speaking of the Onyx room, because we have talked about the Onyx room, take us into the Onyx room. The Onyx room is located on
Olive.
Right off of Greene.
Right off of Greene.
Just east of Greene.
Right.
All right.
Right. You know, like I said, it was a barbershop next door to it. And then you had the Onyx room, across the street was the parking. But you would walk in, it would say the bar would be like an L shape down this way. And the dance floor would be over here. And in the back would be the restrooms. And the DJ, I think, was on the dance floor, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the DJ was on the dance floor.
All right, and then, so that's where all the fun and all the I guess you decided that this was home for you, huh?
Exactly.
And you felt comfortable.
Right. Like I say, like the music was different. You know, I was used to hearing music on the radio and going into the club and hearing dance music and watching people really have fun. And I really felt like, oh, I made it home.
So I know we have talked a little bit about coming out. So when you came out to your family, how was that? How was your family? How did they?
Well, being part of the church also.
No, I did. What do you mean by being part of the church?
My dad was a pastor.
Oh.
And he was a pastor for like 40-some years. But prior to pastoring, I still grew up in church. My mother became a first lady. Mm-hmm. And I started hanging out with one of the guys in the church. And my brother asked me, he said, well, are you like that too? I said, yeah. She threw it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it all the time. I said, well, why'd you ask?
Okay.
And so my dad came to me, being the preacher. You know you're going to die and go to hell. Later on, he apologized for that and took that back. But that's what stuck with me. But in return, I told him I'm not going to live like that. So I'm a Christian. I'm a good person. I'm a good guy. You know. So I trust in God, have faith.
So when you were saying that your mom, you know, how with the first lady and, you know, that it was an embarrassment to them, how did that really affect you?
Oh, it really affected me after I had left. And I came back after being away for a while. And I runs up to my mom to give her a hug and a kiss. And she turns her head in front of the church. That stuck with me for a long time. I understood at that time that my mom was embarrassed with having a gay son, being the first lady. And I couldn't find any decent work after high school that I wanted. So I decided to leave after a friend of mine introduced me to San Francisco.
Can we go back to that? When you said you couldn't find decent work, what do you mean by that? Just a job that you wanted, or do you feel like that was
A
discrimination?
job that was going to pay enough for one thing. On the type of job I wanted. Like I went to, you know, companies. I went to the zoo, St. Louis Zoo. Some of the universities I went to. But, you know, the big company, Perina downtown, those people was not hired. You know, I can get a job in the kitchen easily, because that's what I did all during high school.
But they weren't hiring.
I worked for Miss Helens, and then I worked for Straub's, all during high school and junior high. I started working at 16 at Miss Helens downtown. So yeah. So after visiting San Francisco, and Mr. Woodard Earl said, "Won't you move back?" And so I said, "Probably so, probably so." So exactly what I did. Packed things up and caught the Greyhound, and took a friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you are in San Francisco for how long?
I stayed in San Francisco about a year.
Okay.
And then I moved to LA. And I was in LA. Basically, that was my home base for like 20, 22, 23 years. But I would constantly move around the country, doing visiting, staying, even coming back to St. Louis a lot, because this was home. And I had a job.
Okay, that's important. So I remember us talking also about, I guess this is like when you came, one of the times when you were, I guess, between cities, because you were part of social club?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that was before I left the family, the social club. Yeah, that was right before I left.
Okay, so tell us about that.
So it was a group of us, I think, Tony Boyd, Ike Martin, Cedric, I can't remember his last name, Orville Jones, was that Orville Jones, I miss him much, and myself. And yeah, we decided to just have a social club and throw parties, mainly. That's what we were about, just having fun, throwing parties. And like I say, St. Louis was known for our house parties. I think people was in competition having the best house party. Yeah.
So now was that part of like the social clubs as well? Because there were several
There
different
was other social clubs too, yes.
So, and because like mostly, we have talked about this before as well, a lot of cities, they have the house of, like say New York, how they have their houses. New York have, I guess LA have their version of the houses as well.
I didn't see that that way.
Okay, all right. But
I'm sure it probably was there, but I didn't see the houses like that.
All right.
Or here, none like New York, where everybody kind of lived together. But I'm sure in the drag, I say drag, in the drag world, they did have those type of houses, I guess, here probably everywhere, because a lot of us were rejected from our family and probably didn't have the option to, leave town or go anywhere else, so they formed. Now, I know we do form family, and I think that's why we called it our social club family, because we are consider our group of friends as family.
Because I have been told, I think Richard was talking about that, as we were talking about in the group last week about the Onyx Room, and he was saying about how it was important to have that network,
Right,
networking.
network people. If somebody would take you under their wings. And,
and that's kind of missing a little bit.
Right, like the guy that brought me out, he kind of took me under his wing and took me out and showed me quite a few things I wasn't aware of.
Like what?
Oh, man. Well, I found out later, I can tell you this once, is that we was in the Onyx Room or even down at the Zebra Lounge. I didn't know the guys was going out having each other. Somewhere on top of a roof somewhere. They was having each other actually, and then coming back in the club having drinks. Then probably picking up another one, going back out. I was just there to have fun, have a good time, and I was so unaware of that.
Other places to hang out. Where were they,
we're going back to, let's say, when I was in high school, they was picking me up. They was taking me out to dinner, and we was going, let's say, places, and that I said I wouldn't normally be going to. Nice expensive places, just show me another way, But the parks, it was still the same thing. I was out there having fun with my friends. They were going back in the woods and doing things.
It's a lot of that.
I just, in the beginning, I think I might have been back there once or twice, but no, it wasn't my thing.
Like, okay, so I wanted to talk about like the gay bashing and stuff like that. How did you knew people, because it was really bad back in those days for a minute, the gay bashing. So how did that affect you, and did you know a lot of people that things like that was happening to?
Yeah. You would hear so-and-so got, stabbed up or sliced up. So, either got banged in the head or whatever. And I was one of those persons that got banged in the head, leaving a party for Miss Edith.
The guys, guys that were actually like, they would do these things and then would turn around and date somebody else, and go right on another date.
Another day. One of my closest friend, Mark Tabor, when I heard of him getting killed, and that really, really upset me. And then the guy that killed him, lots of gay people knew him, hung out with him. He stole Mark's car, rode in the car with him after he done killed Mark. So that's pretty sad that they would, target the gay community like that and be a part of the community.
So now, did anything ever happen with that? Did they ever solve his murder?
Nah,
or they just kind of pushed it under the...
They put it in the world newspaper. That's what they did.
And that was about it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I had 3 guys jump me, leaving the party. Now, I don't know what happened to the other guy that was with me. But I fought back. And that's how I probably got the worst of it. And the guys had a lead pipe swung out, busted my head open. So.
Well, we're so glad you recovered from that, and you're still
Well, if you ask
here.
my mom, she said something was wrong with after that. Ever since that hit, you ain't the same. I'm okay, but anyway.
So now that you're back, what is it that you miss most about all of that?
St. Louis, I miss when I'm away, because like I said, I travel other places besides just LA, San Francisco, and I've just noticed St. Louis and our gay community, we're pretty close. We have a connection with each other.
Yeah.
We definitely have a connection.
And you have said this before, And maybe I might want to elaborate just a little bit more to get a better understanding, because you said that St. Louis is unique. The LGBT community is unique in its way, and you could see this from a different perspective because you have traveled
A little bit, yeah.
around.
Yeah.
So now, what do you mean? So how?
Well, somebody describes St. Louis as a secret gem that's hidden from the world, and I have to agree with that.
Oh.
I think St. Louis is a gem for real. We have a gem, a stone, a ruby, a diamond in the rough.
Yeah. Yes, it is still in. I agree with you. It still is in the making.
It's still in the making. We don't. And St. Louis, I think, has the intent. They intended for us to stay the way it is. It was supposed to be a big major, New York or Chicago or Houston or LA. This is what they wanted for St. Louis, and this is what they get. And we are slowly and steadily growing, you know. But we have everything the major city has, but I think on a smaller scale.
But I will say that as far as the LGBT community goes, we have come a long way since the days of us coming out. We don't necessarily have to be so discreet as we were. We're not. I don't feel as threatened as I used to be, because you know that back in those days, you know, you
have
can
to watch your back. Have somebody else watch your back too.
because you could be attacked just because you were walking down the street by any and everybody, and no one would care.
Exactly.
But just why do you think the story is? It's important that our story is told in our voice.
Right. Well, like I said, when you first brought it to us, you was talking about it was a white guy that wanted to do it for the History Museum, and he was going to interview a few of us. And I think I might have mentioned to you that we got a whole separate story than what they got, and it's because St. Louis has been so separate. Even though we go to the same clubs, we still so separate in the club. So yeah, our story needs to be told because we lived a different life than they did.
And my hopes in that we are doing this is that by the stories being told and people are able to hear it from both, you know, unique, you know, rich authentically from the voice, white and black, together, that maybe this will be an understanding and we can stop being this separate. It's like Democrats and Republicans to me. You know, it's us and them.
Us and them.
And it should be.
And then I've also noticed, like I say, even some of the couple white guys that I found attractive and maybe found me attractive, we don't cross that line. You know? Or if they do cross the line, they don't want to let their buddy know that they crossed the line. I was waiting across that one too. Yeah. Now I'm talking about then, now, whatever. Yeah, the white guys here in St. Louis, they bought some black dick, you know, but they don't want their buddies to know that they want some black dick.
That's bad. That's then to me that's one of the things that makes St. Louis unique to me. You know, because it's still like that.
It's like that.
And you know, but that's my story.
Yeah. But we learn to be happy, you know, regardless. Enjoy each other. Right?
Yes. You are a proud man, and why can you say that you are proud and you are gay and proud? I mean, just that.
I guess I was happy. And being happy, you know, and enjoying life, is proudness comes with it. You know, you're proud to be who you are, and you're proud of others. I think I take joy in being happy for other people. You know, so when you do good, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you right now for doing this. Speaking of being proud, and myself, it was just natural. I'm just repeating myself, but to be happy with yourself and who you are. You know, I knew I was different. I knew I was gay. I think I enjoy being different. I enjoy being gay because I knew what I like. I know what I like, and I like men. And men make me happy.
Okay.